Omer from MMOHut.com, and I'm going to do another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending November 13th, 2011. And as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news that we're going to take a look at this week has to do with Star Trek Online. The news is that on November 8th, Cryptic Studios, which is now owned by Perfect World Entertainment, announced that the game would officially go free to play on January 17th, 2012. The guys behind Star Trek Online already announced that the game was going to go free to play, but now we have an official date on when that's going to actually happen. And again, guys, that is on January 17th. Now, it's always exciting to see yet another pay-to-play game go free-to-play, and as I've been saying forever now, free-to-play is definitely the future of gaming. The next bit of news, guys, also involves pay-to-play going free-to-play, and the news is that Sony Online Entertainment came out and revealed some numbers about DC Universe Online since it went free-to-play. Now, since launching as a free-to-play game, I think on November 1st, the game has added 1 million new players in the first week of going free-to-play, and those players are split equally between PS3 and PC platforms. It's cool to see the people playing on the PS3 as well, because again, DC Universe Online was originally designed for both PC and PS3, and the game is free-to-play again with some restrictions. And any of you guys that actually played DC Universe Online the first week it went free to play, it's been having a lot of server troubles because a lot of people keep trying to log in at once, so that's definitely a good sign for the game. It's never bad when a game has too many players that it has server problems. Well, it is for players, but it shows that the game is popular and doing well. Up next, guys, a bit of news I forgot to mention last week. On November 4th, 2011, Area Games begins closed beta signups for Repulse, their upcoming new free-to-play MMOFPS game, which is actually Genesis AD from EG relaunching. Basically, Genesis AD was available from EG for a while until they shut it down, but now Area Games is relaunching it, but calling it Repulse. Closed beta signups for the game already started, and the game will probably launch into closed beta in the coming weeks. I actually kind of like Genesis AD, so I'm glad to see the game relaunching as Repulse. But I'm not sure why Area Games decided to release a random cinematic trailer for the relaunch of the game rather than actual gameplay, guys. That shows you nothing about the game in this video. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 8th, 2011, and the news is that G-Potato announces Ica Epic 2 update, which is the latest expansion pack for the game, and it'll go live on November 17th. The biggest thing being added with this update is a new island called Traban, which is a PvE area featuring new dungeons, new items, and new quests. Also included is a fishing system, which the game company calls PvF, which is Player versus Fish. Not sure why they chose to name it that. But yeah, if you're ever tired of PvP, you can always go PvF. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 9th, 2011, and the news is as Dungeons & Dragons Online releases Update 12 Vault of the Artificers, or Artificers, however you want to say that. This latest update to the game adds new challenges into the game, which includes minigames and multiple difficulties that let players collect resources that they can exchange for loot. Also included is a new Artificer class, which can be unlocked as a favor reward through Update 11 and 12. Now, Update 12, along with all the other updates for DDO, is actually a major update. You can see the full changelog on the game's official website. Pretty much all of the game's classes have sort of been rebalanced, and skills have always been tweaked. These updates actually include just a huge ton of changes for the game, mostly tons of rebalancing and tweaking for skills, and also just a lot of minor introductions of new items and things like that. And again, guys, this update actually went live on November 9th, 2011. And yes, guys, the video you're seeing is actually one of the oldest trailers for DDO out there. Too bad they don't release new trailers for the game with the new updates. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 9th, 2011, and is a new update for Microvault, which actually launched on November 10th, 2011. The update dubbed Luck and Load actually adds a new capsule system to the game, which lets players kind of test the luck and getting random items from the game's capsule machine. Also including the update is a brand new weapon upgrade system, where players can permanently increase the stats of their weapons. It's good to see Rock Capo updating Microvaults even after launching their newer title, Brawl Busters. Up next, guys, also on November 9th, 2011, Rusty Hearts launches Cell of Darkness, which is the latest update to the game, and again, that update is actually live on November 9th, so it's already available. And the update increased the game's level cap to 36, adds a new pet system where players can raise 3 kinds of pets, resurrect fallen pets, or manage pets through the game's pet shed. Also included in the update are several new dungeons which players can explore. Cells of Darkness is the second major expansion pack to Rusty Hearts since it officially launched. The next bit of news this week, also on November 9th, and also from Perfect World, is that War of Immortals launches into closed beta. War of the Immortals is the next free-to-play MMORPG from Perfect World Entertainment, and is a sequel to Battle of the Immortals. The beta will feature content up to level 50, 8 classes, the pet system, the guild system, and more. And unlike its predecessor, that's a tough word to say, predecessor, War of the Immortals features destructible environments, crisper graphics, and much more. Keep in mind though, guys, Battle of the Immortals will remain live even after War of the Immortals launches. Also keep in mind, guys, characters will not be transferable between the two. So you cannot move your War of the Immortals characters onto... No, you can't move your Battle of the Immortals characters onto War of the Immortals. The games have such similar names, it's confusing. War of, Battle of... Up next, guys, on November 10th, 2011, Elsword launched a new content update which basically raised the game's level cap to 50, as well as adds a few new things to the game. including the last two levels of Velder Town are available to players now, and players can now recruit the Tree Knight and Maple Tree Knight pets to join them. Also including the update, guys, a new PvP system lets players jump into battle at any time and improves auto matchmaking, adds challenging AI opponents, and lets players earn weapons through arena points. The next bit of news, guys, comes on November 10th, 2011, and the news is that Dragon Saga announces next big expansion, New Origins Phase 2, which will be released next week on November 15th. The update adds a Saga card exchange, letting players add elemental bonuses to armor and weapons via socketing systems. The update also adds 2 new dungeons, Red Fox Delta and Spirit Dungeon, updates F6 and F7 mission map, PvP changes, new monsters, armor, quests, weapons, and more. And again, guys, the update is going live on November 15th. The next bit of news, guys, comes also on November 10th, 2011, and the news is that Fly V18 gets a launch date, guys. Fly for Fun is launching yet another major expansion to the game, and Fly is actually one of GPotato's most popular free-to-play MMORPGs. Even though it's a bit old, it's still a goodie. Update V18 is scheduled to launch on November 21st, so it's coming up real soon. The update will boost mid-level content with 3 new dungeons, plus new quests and rewards. The drop system has also been overhauled so that monsters will now drop loot scaled to their difficulty, making it easier for players to obtain gear early on. And the video you're seeing in the background, guys, is actually the V17 update trailer. They never released a trailer for V18 quite yet. It's also worth mentioning, guys, even though Fly for Fun now is like many years old, the game is still popular. People do still play it. So even though there's so many new free-to-play games launching, a lot of the older games still remain very popular. Now, while on the topic of old games, Last Chaos actually announced its latest update, which officially went live on November 11th, 2011. This is the biggest update to Last Chaos in 2 years. The massive content update for the game raised the game's level cap from 165 to 175, adds new zones, gear, and new skills for all classes. The game's Temple of Forgetfulness has also been revamped to include new treasure, monsters, and a new boss. Temple of Forgetfulness, what a name, guys. Go there to forget things, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, as I was saying, guys, some of the older games are still very popular. I think Last Chaos was one of the first, if not the first game to be published by Area Games. People still do play it. The next and last bit of news, guys, is that CrimeCraft's publisher Voxer Online announced a new update for CrimeCraft, which is the game's second major expansion that will be released in December, under the name Gang Wars. As the expansion's title kind of hinted, the expansion will add territory wars to the game where gangs will battle for control over lobbies and instances. A new prologue campaign is also being added to the game to introduce new players to the game very easily. Quick Play will let players enter games quickly and bypass the RPG-style lobbies if they so desire, and classes will have over 20 profiles that include equipment and skills, which lets players quickly jump into the actual game. Finally, a new PvE and PvP game mode, Core Annihilation, will also be added to the game. And again, this update is scheduled to launch sometime in December. Well, guys, that's it for MMO news, but as for games coming soon, we have nothing. But as for games that recently launched, we have Windslayer 2, which officially launched on November 3rd, which means I probably should have covered this last week. And if you couldn't tell, the game is Windslayer 2, and it actually looks and plays almost exactly like Windslayer 1. Both games resemble MapleStory as well as Wonder King, a 2D side-scrolling fantasy action MMORPG, and it's being published by Ignited Games. Expect the first look for Windslayer 2 soon. One last bit of news I'm going to sneak in here also has to do with Ignited Games, the same company behind Windslayer 2, is that they'll actually be relaunching Dark Eden, which is one of the older MMORPGs out there. It used to be published by a company called Joymax, but they shut the game down, and now it looks like Ignited Games, again the same company behind Windslayer, is going to pick up Dark Eden and launch that as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending November 13th, 2011. Now, if you want to read about or learn more about any of the news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news. If you want to discuss anything in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway, guys, this is Omer, signing off.